listening to the Beercraft Homebrewing Podcast. Tune in every Wednesday night at 6:30 Pacific for a dose of beer and brewing banter with your hosts, Ben Holm and Andrew Ziegler.
So hop aboard for a little wit and wisdom in the Pacific Northwest, because it's always beer 30 on the Beercraft.
Welcome to the Beercraft Homebrewing Podcast. It is Wednesday night. It is 6:30 on the clock. That's probably lying to me anyways.
And Ben, you are on fire.
On fire. I'm fired up. I am kind of feeling
here?
like I'm feeling a little testy. I'll tell you what's going on. In March of 2026, the
couple of months ago,
Facebook they changed some of their policies regarding alcohol and alcohol related or alcohol adjacent businesses to the tune that they're no longer showing up in organic.
Some Gen Z get in there and change all these policies here. Or what's the deal?
They've got AI that's scraping everybody's page for content violations all the time, and that's not a new thing.
So
but now
AI's dictating
Facebook
policy.
I don't know where it came from because
probably good. Imagine it would be a combination.
So
of both.
basically, it means anything I do is not showing up organically. Like if you're a fan of my page, cool. You'll see the shit I do. Well, you'll see 2% of what I should do.
Never be shared, basically.
Yeah, it won't show up on anybody else's stuff. And even if it went viral, like it wouldn't show. Like even 100% of my fans
are you having to pay for it in order to show it on your friends' page?
Oh, that's the thing. They'll fucking take my money to advertise on there.
But only to your people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so and so I'm like it's been kind of all over beer and wine businesses. Yeah. So Facebook is kind of just shitting the bed on a $1 billion industry. It's happy to take their fucking money.
Yeah, but this may be something different, Ben.
Well, I don't know what it is, but there
may be more to
it's got
dig
me
into.
pissed. It's got me pissed off. That's for damn sure.
Well, let's get into this. But hold on. Before we start, it is wine.
It's Wine Wednesday, so I'm whining about Facebook.
Wine Wednesday,
and we're drinking wine. So I did bring some wine actually. So we have.
You brought us wine.
This is a Wine Expert Tempranillo Shiraz kit I put together.
You did this.
This about 2 years ago.
All right.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
Yeah. Two-year-old wine.
It's 2-year-old wine, and I bottled it 6 months ago. Ish, less than No, we bottled it January,
hanging out in the
February,
carboy?
maybe
Carboy
in February
for a bucket.
It was in a carboy,
glass
in the closet.
carboy.
Yeah, actually one of them was in plastic. But
did you have one
PET
of each?
plastic? Yeah, and production permeability is pretty good on plastic.
That's something good to talk about too.
No, as a matter of fact.
You have this whole episode.
I was engineered that way.
Oh my gosh!
But yeah, so this is
so soft.
But this is
good. It's good. I like it.
It's pretty damn tasty.
Got great mouthfeel. Got a little bit
nice and bright.
Mm-hmm. A little bit of that tannin on the tip of your tongue.
I get a little plum and raisin action on there.
Yeah, a little raisiny.
Kim's nodding in the corner. She must remember it now. You already finished yours, didn't you, Kim? Oh, there it is. Yeah. It's got Tempranillo in there as well. So Tempranillo is a South American grape, typically Spain, Argentina kind of landscape. Tempranillo,
South American.
It's a South American grape.
So that would be Chile,
Argentina, or Brazil's got some. And there's one other that I just said. Now I can't remember. So
there's probably little pockets everywhere.
Argentina. That was the other one. Yeah. It's interesting. One of the interesting things I've found in beer land, in all my beer nerdery. But if you look at a Mercator projection of the United States, or I mean, not just the United States, of the world, the Mercator projection is the one that has all all your longitudinal lines kind of peaking as it's kind of spread out across.
Right.
So it's 4 peaks of what is otherwise a globe, right?
So you can see what can grow where, basically.
Yeah, well, that's the kind of the thing. If you take a look at the latitudes of classic wine growing regions, France and Spain, and you can kind of draw that parallel line all the way across the globe, and pretty much in the northern hemisphere, everybody in that latitude they've got some wine grapes.
Nice. Did I tell you about my wine grapes that I have?
No, you got wine grapes.
Oh, remember, I told you they're from Switzerland.
Swiss wine grapes.
Swiss
so they
wine
full of
grapes.
holes. No, just kidding.
Somewhat. Just like Swiss cheese, right? Anyhow, my buddy gave me some of these wine vines or grapevines, and I've been growing. I stuck them in water, and they started growing roots. And actually, one grew a bunch of what you call a bunch of grapes,
Well, that's cool.
ready to roll just off the stick.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's
super cool.
So
I'm going to
you-
be planting them out back.
There you go.
So I'm going to have Swiss grapes.
Well,
from here on
I
out.
kind of tell people like, hey man, like with global warming, we're going to be the next Napa. Plant
we
vines
go.
now.
Yep, plant everything. We'll be growing hops and grapes.
But I don't think it'll ever dry. I don't think
it.
it'll ever dry out enough out here for that.
Well,
but it's interesting.
As
So
soon as there's no more clouds.
it's interesting. I was talking about the geographies of wine because if you take the same longitudinal range in the southern hemisphere, you're going to run into
the same-
other wine
same thing,
growing
yeah.
regions, and that's where you're going to find Argentina and Chile
Yeah.
and Spain.
And you still need access to good water.
Good water,
Yeah.
good soils, but they
Good
grow
water.
well.
You
in
can-
they
you
grow
can-
well in the latitudes. That
Yeah, you can
in those
fertilize your
latitudes.
soil
Yeah.
pretty well.
You know, we're up north here, but on the same vein, this latitudinal analysis of of wine growing regions also applies to hops. So all of your beer cultures in the northern hemisphere are
That's
also
right.
in the same latitude.
Same
range.
thing goes for your barleys and your
So
wheats.
barley grows better there in the colder climates. So the farther north you go, or the farther south, depending, you're going to find some beer-like property.
We're in the heaven belt here.
Love it.
I used to live in Whidbey Island. It's called the Banana Belt, and it's kind of a banana belt up here. I mean, it's kind of like warmer.
Oh,
you know, I
yeah,
get up
the-
for work in the morning, and I'm putting on my T-shirt. And I'm like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah, we have a little like warm
And
coastal haze kind of thing. going on.
I drive south, and all of a sudden, boom, I'm in a rainstorm. I'm like,
Yeah.
what's going on here?
We got kind of a little protected bubble kind of thing going on. Yeah.
We're blessed.
Yeah.
Here in the Skagit Valley.
I like
With
it.
that, the wind blows all the bad stuff away.
That's right,
And
including
all
the bugs. Yeah, like my out-of-state friends like, oh, how can you handle Washington? It's so much fucking rain. I'm like, it's not that much. I mean, it's we got rain, but
It sucks
we also
for
got
months.
we also have it also keeps the bugs small.
Right.
And it keeps the the high temperatures aren't so obscene that you can't.
Let me ask you
function.
one question.
Yeah.
How much are you worried about, and how much do you remember last winter?
How much do I worry about last winter or the one we just faced?
Yeah.
And how much do I worry about?
Do you remember it? Right at this point?
Did it happen?
It happened, right? Yeah.
Did we have a winter?
Do you remember being miserable?
We did not have a winter this year. Like it was some cold rain.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. My knee hurts because
So
my knee hurts anytime.
We were really bad off.
Yeah.
We made it
anytime
through.
the temperature's around.
By the
40
time we
degrees,
make it through the worst of the days,
it's nothing.
it's so beautiful.
Oh, even if the snow out here, like you got 2 weeks of snow and it fucks
I don't
off right
think
properly.
it snowed this year.
It did not.
Did not.
It did not. But I'm expecting. I still have on my calendar to watch out for snow on June 4th because it could happen. It's happened 3 times in a row in recent
June
memory.
4th.
Yeah, I was like,
Up on the slopes or just
no,
up
like
here?
down here, like where I live in town.
Wow.
Like woke up, put the trash on the curb, and was like, it's fucking snowing. What is this? Big, heavy, wet, kind of, sleety kind of snow. But I'm like, fucking snow. It's like June 4th.
Still
What the hell
snow.
crap is
Still,
it?
it's like sleet.
And it was like June 4 on the calendar, and I circled it. Next year, it happened again, and it happened a third fucking time. Like,
Wow.
what the shit? Washington's just weird. Yeah, the weatherman's still drunk, I think.
Well, it just
You think
happens like
wine?
that. It's climatic. What?
The weatherman drinks too much wine, I think.
Well, maybe. So what do you do? What do you got going on? What'd you do over the weekend? I mean, I can't even say that because it's been like 2 weekends now.
Right. I've been working on a garden pergola project since Mother's Day. So we did, we started Mother's Day. We got the garden beds straightened out, and I had to put some back together because the dog destroyed them. The raised beds kind of like trampled through them and knocked them apart and shit like that.
No.
We got those put together, and I started this pergola project. We had to replace the porch on my kid's house, and it had 4 pillars on there, and they're solid wood, unlike most of the shit today. but they're solid wood pillars, and I salvaged them off of there. And I was working on a way to stand them up for this project, and I'm looking at the grain on these, and the pillars they're a good 8 inches round at the base, and I looked at the grain structure of the wood, and it's straight lines from top to bottom, which means this is they're over 100 years old. They're turned on a lathe. It'd be a bloody big lathe.
Wow.
Because they're 8 feet long.
Yeah.
Big lathe. But the size of the tree must have just been humongous. For this to be a straight grain piece of that tree.
That big?
Shut the door. It was a big tree.
So what are you using that for your pergola?
So yeah, we got that freestanding on the.
And you're using it for
garden.
your plants then?
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna have plants on it quite yet, but I mean we'll do some planters at the corners or something, maybe some climbing vines. But that's more of like when the permanent structure is built. This one has to be a little bit. It has to be modular. I have to be able to take it apart and
Store
because
it.
I haven't done the storage. I'm not too worried about. It shouldn't blow over. There's no sail. There's no cover on it.
There's no cover, right?
Yeah. But we haven't decided.
lattice
We haven't.
top?
We're either going to build a patio or pour a patio, or do stone, or build a deck. And so we haven't decided or budgeted for that. So I don't want this to be a permanent structure that
You're ambitious. You better be glad it's the beginning of the summer.
Yeah.
You got plenty of time.
Yeah. We're not going to do the patio this year. There's no fundage in that budget currently. So
it's got to prepare for it.
Not for gas. Not with gas. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Where do you don't have to drive anywhere.
Yeah, but they have to ship the fucking stone or the blah. Everything's going to be.
Well, true.
Yeah,
Everything's expensive anyways. I'm just getting used to it.
Yeah.
I mean, you imagine me. Everybody's like freaking out about gas prices and all that. Imagine when I came back from Mexico, and I'm so used to the prices in Mexico. Mm-hmm. Coming back here is like, ugh, this is tough to take.
This is dumb.
And so now when the prices rise again, I'm like, all right, I had to get used to a $12 hamburger, and now it's 15, to 20. Like, what are you going to do?
I eat out less, that's for sure.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I guess I end up with less money in my pocket in the end of my life.
Good times. Yeah. Spend it now because you ain't going to have any
right,
later.
Right. And they're just going to take it off from me when I have to go to an old folks home.
Right. You lost your medical insurance, so you're not going to survive this shit anyway. So,
yeah, you're done for.
Well, we got a kind of like an interesting topic. We were going to talk with Aaron Van He, do some more botany of beer with my herbalist friend, but we had to reschedule that one, so we will be having that show.
That's coming.
It's coming.
I'm looking forward to that show.
It's coming. It's going to be good. Aaron's a hoot.
It's going to be good to find out different things that we may be able to dodge our beers up with.
It'll be
maybe,
good.
You know what? Maybe we should empt her to find out about pairings, like pairings with different styles of beer. What goes good with a stout? What goes good with a red? What goes good with a
I think that'll be fun.
Pale.
So stay tuned for that episode.
Right,
but when we get
great.
back, we're gonna unpack kind of one of the classic homebrew questions. Is it better to be in a glass carboy or a plastic bucket? When we come back, right here on the Beer Craft.
Beer News with Andrew, where I come and give you international stories, national stories, state, maybe even your local backyard. All right, here we go again, hopheads. When the world pours together. Every 4 years, the world comes together for football. But in 2026, something else is pouring into the movement. Beer. From skyrocketing stadium prices to global mega brands fighting for fan loyalty, the World Cup isn't just a tournament. It's a battleground for the future of drinking culture. Today, we're tapping into those three stories to show how beer and the World Cup are colliding like never before. Fans arriving at the World Cup stadiums across the U.S. and Canada are posting receipts on their social media that look more like high-end beer tabs than match day snacks. Reports show beer for food prices have shocked supporters, fueling debate about whether the tournament is drifting out of reach for the everyday fans. FIFA has defended the pricing, says it reflects local market conditions and operational data. Yeah, when a pint costs as much as a premium stadium seat in some countries, you know fans are going to talk, and they are, loudly. The World Cup is supposed to be a great equalizer, but this year, affordability is becoming part of that story. So the U.S. alcohol industry has been in a slump, like we talked about this, but the World Cup is being treated as a lifeline. Major players like Diageo and other global beverage giants are pouring millions into sponsorships and promotions, hoping the tournament will reverse declining U.S. consumption. Diageo even became FIFA's first official spirits sponsor, gaining exclusive rights to serve liquor at stadiums and fan festivals. So beer sales in the U.S. have been sliding, but the World Cup is the kind of culture lightning strike the industry dreams of. If anything can get American drinking again, possibly, responsibly, and of course, it's 6 weeks of nonstop football. So now Boston runs out of beer. The Tartan Army drinks Boston dry. Boston has seen big drinking weekends before, St. Patrick's Day, championship parades, college move-ins, but nothing prepared the city for what happened when Scotland's Tartan Army arrived for the 2026 World Cup. Bars across downtown Fenway and the financial district were literally running out of beers as thousands of Scottish supporters drank through keg after keg at a pace no one anticipated. According to Boston's 25 News, bars like Hennessy's and the Dubliner were overwhelmed, reporting beer sales tripling their St. Patrick's Day numbers and blowing through stock faster than suppliers could even deliver more. Hennessy's even ran out of the lager and ale entirely on Sunday before emergency shipments arrived. The Dubliner told reporters that they tore through 100 kegs of Guinness, 80 kegs of Tennent's, and 1,600 pints as fans packed the club and from open to close. Staff said they were prepared for a St. Paddy's Day level rush, but this blew it out of the water. Even the Samuel Adams tap room wasn't spared. Scottish fans drank the tap room out of Boston lager, drank the tap room dry, consuming 4 times the amount they normally sell over a major holiday weekend. The brewery had to schedule 4 emergency deliveries just to keep up. Local liquor sales were hit too, with some financial district shops reporting major brands running low or selling out entirely as fans move from bar to bar and back again. Despite the chaos, Boston bar owners say the Scottish fans have brought unmatched energy, camaraderie, good humor to the city, turning what could have been a beer crisis into one of the most memorable beer weeks in Boston's pub scene has ever seen. So here's where we land today. The World Cup didn't just bring us the world's fans, it brought us their thirst. Boston learned that the hard way as the Tartan Army drank pubs dry, blowing St. Patrick's Day numbers and out of the water and forcing emergency keg runs across the city. And on a global stage, beer is becoming as much part of the tournament as football itself, shaping fans' culture, driving massive promotions, turning bars into gathering grounds for the world's biggest sporting moment. One thing's clear, when the world watches together, the taps don't stand a chance. This has been Beer News with Andrew. Keep your glasses full and your stories cold. We'll pour another round next week.
Welcome back to the Beer Craft Homebrewing Podcast. And this week on this show, we are taking a look at one of the most popular questions I get in the shop. And that is it better to ferment in glass or plastic?
Aha.
Yeah, this one's
I've
been...
often had this question.
This one is... every new brewer is going to ask this question.
Well,
It's
this
like
is
the
one
top
of my,
10
like,
they're going to get.
what do you call it? I didn't criticize it. I was skeptical. I was a very heavy skeptic about anything plastic.
And with good reason. And I think a lot of the conversation about plastics, it leaves you wondering what the fuck that was.
Maybe because I'm a He-Man and I'm a monkey and I just like,
like
clean this.
Yeah.
treat this like this. And then if it's glass, I'm like, ooh, I'm like a, I'm like a princess over here. Ooh, be careful. I have ended up in the emergency room at 1 a.m. in the morning over slicing my wrist or my upper thumb or somewhere. It was somewhere. I can't see it anymore because the doctor was so awesome at taking care of me. But the carboy, I've been drinking. You got to drink homebrew while you make homebrew.
It's like rule number 1.
And at 1 a.m, and I'm cleaning the final carboys that we've been dealing with all day. I transferred my beer, and I have maybe 2 carboys that I've been cleaning, and just
gravity works.
Bumped it on something, bumped it together, and it just popped, and the bottom of it just like came down and cut me.
Oh, and it's
like,
it is. That sharpness is the same sharpness that the early man made with flint and stone to create arrowheads and shit. Like, it's fucking razors, man.
Yeah.
And so glass is not without its pitfalls. I think a lot of the science, the talk around plastics, it is ultimately like, the science gets noodly. It's hard to follow if you're not, if you're not your scheme. Yeah,
chemical engineering behind all the plastics.
Well, I think a lot of the plastics, there's
they're all labeled, right?
They're engineered plastics for what for homebrewing, yeah. And then there's kind of like mega plastic corp that's going to just do generic containers, nothing that's going to touch food, blah blah blah.
Right.
Industrial plastics, and they are different. Sometimes the kind of down to the kind of plastics, or just how they handle those plastics is completely different, and that is a. It can get confusing if you're not in a plastics game. So the big players in plastics for fermentation are high density polyethylene, it also known as HDPE. This is the kind of it is the opaque plastic. If you've seen a Spiedel fermenter, that kind of like semi-translucent plastic,
kind of teardrop shape.
It's kind of just like this cloudy, hazy, whitish plastic. You can kind of, it blocks most of the light, so it's safe for beer. But it's a pretty dense plastic, and chemically, it is literally just polymer structure of carbons and hydrogens, man. Like,
barrier.
It's pretty simple
it's a
stuff.
Barrier.
Yeah,
it's a good barrier.
It is,
because that's what we're really worried about. The barrier that this plastic provides for our chemicals that we're putting in it.
Right, and remember a couple years ago there was like the big like BPA scares in plastics. BPA are phthalates. That's bisphenol A with BPA, and then the phthalates is the other one. Well, HDPE doesn't have any of those, so we don't have to worry about this is not a new BPA free formula. It never had any of that. So right there, if you're the hang up on BPAs and plastics and these things, well, here's a plastic that never had it. So that's pretty good. It's a very dense matrix. It is non-reactive with alcohol in like 95% alcohol solutions. It is also inert to acids,
not phosphoric acid, because that's what I use for my
phosphoric acid. That's your sanitizer, but it doesn't affect your plastic.
Good, yes.
Yeah. Also, malic acid during wine, or malic acid from cider,
citric acid,
tartaric acid from wine grape, or any of
carbonic acid,
if even acetic acid for vinegar, right? Any of those food acids, like, completely fine. So you've got a trifecta of things going for you with HDPE. Yes, it's food grade, so it's not going to leach anything. There's nothing in there to leach. It is alcohol tolerant, and that cannot be said for all plastics. It is also acid tolerant, which cannot be said for all plastics. I mean, we have all come across those plastics that get funky under with acidic. They change color, they get softer, or, get dissolved. They're plastics that we engineer to do that sort of thing. The food grade element, right? There's got to be. It has to be safe. That is a heavily regulated space. The FDA is heavily involved in all those processes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did we leave out a factor? Heat.
So, thermoplastics. It is not something you can play around in the boil with. I think what did I have a note on that one? We got a handy little chart about temperature limit, 140 degrees.
Ooh, so we can't even. Put
not for your hot wort. It's not for your hot wort.
Nope.
No.
Can't even put wort in there.
One of the things that comes up in plastics,
we put our chilled wort in there after the boil. We chill it.
We're going to talk about some of the oxygen permeability of plastics right after we talk about the other kind of plastic that you're going to run into.
All right,
and that is PET, polyethylene.
PET,
polyethylene.
And where do I find that?
Everywhere. It's probably like the most. It's probably like it's your 2 liter bottles.
If I want to ferment in 2 liter bottles,
yep,
as an experiment, is that okay?
Yeah, PET plastic is also non-reactive acid resistant, and
what's the downside of that though? It's food grade.
They're all food grade. It has a slightly higher temperature rating. PET, they can actually make this one into a pressure vessel. So there are pressurized PET vessels. Like
hence my 2 liter soda.
Your 2 liter bottle's packed under a huge amount of pressure.
I know, like 110 or something.
Yeah, it's a lot. But you can also have like pressurized fermenters. I've seen like pressurized unitank in PET plastics. Fantastic. It's a fantastic kind of product, and they're super lightweight and super strong. You were talking about glass breaking. Well, you can drop a carboy right on the ground. It's not gonna. If it did rupture, it would split through the side, and it would not be a catastrophic failure. It would not be
my carboy.
It would be a wet spot on the floor for sure, but it's not an explosive.
Glass carboy?
If you manage to break a PET carboy,
the PET carboy, it would just split.
That's right.
It would just the maximum thing. It would probably. Where would it split at? Because I'm sure it's blown.
I've never seen one split.
Yeah, because it's blown.
Yeah.
It's not a fused shell. 2 shells coming together with a seam, so you can't worry about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So PET stands for polyethylene terephthalate. PET, it's a recycle code 1. Low permeability for oxygen. It's harder than HDPE. It's a more crystalline structure, and that's really what makes it more oxygen permeable. This one gets a lot of press. The oxygen permeability.
So my growler,
of plastics.
some of my I've seen plastic growlers. So plastic growler would probably be PET.
Correct.
But my fermenter needs to be.
It can be PET or HDPE.
HDPE.
Yeah. And all of like the products out there, like Vintage Shop carboys, Better Bottles, all those Fur Monster, those are all PET plastic.
PET.
Yeah. The buckets are often, if it's opaque, it is often an HDPE vessel. Spiegel uses it exclusively. It's a good product. You do have to watch out for scratches, and we're going to talk about those in a minute as well. The big argument you see a lot is oxygen permeability. It means a molecule of oxygen can wiggle its way through the polymer structure of plastics, right, on a molecular level.
Isn't that crazy? It's called osmosis.
Yeah. Well, sure, it can happen. But it's also what never gets talked about is the permeability of oxygen through plastic is an over time equation.
Right. How long does it take?
A lot longer than the 2 weeks you're going to be using it.
Okay.
How about that?
But it's still in there.
Well, at that point, just transferring it into the carboy exposed your beer to more oxygen and then the complete and wait. If you're worried about oxygen permeability in your plastics, the fact that you transferred it into a PET bottle and now you're worried about it, well, you exposed it to more oxygen during that transfer process than you did through the permeability factor.
Right. Okay, got it. My point to be is that vessel is constantly picking up oxygen, and this oxygen is constant, no matter if there's beer in there or not. the oxygen is constantly wiggling through that plastic to get to the inside.
In the 2-week timeline, 2 to 4,
Now,
even
how,
2 to, let's say
how
4-week
does
timeline.
how does vacuum pressure affect the permeability of oxygen?
Well, none of these vessels are. I mean, the PET is rated for a pressure vessel. Internal forces pushing outwards is relatively structured. I imagine a vacuum, though, is going to. The rigidity doesn't work in that direction. I think you would end up sucking it, collapsing the vessel if you were to try to do a vacuum on it. Probably not so great. I mean, like air pressure would be helping you out in that point, the 14 pounds per square inch exerted by the atmosphere on top of that, as we draw a vacuum, will collapse that can.
So if we put a carbon molecule on the oxygen molecule, will it still make it through?
That's a very good question. If you're out there listening and you know the answer, please info here.
You know why I'm asking, right?
Yeah.
I'm asking that because CO2 is on the inside of my vessel,
right?
And oxygen's on the oxygen, CO2, helium, all these other guys are on the outside.
Yeah.
So all these other chemicals on the outside of my vessel, my fermentation vessel, are pushing against my fermentation, trying to get into there. But I have pressure because I have fermentation going on. So I have positive pressure inside my fermenter, inside my bottle, pushing those molecules with higher pressure out. So I never have to worry about this as long
atmospheric pressure,
as long as that one tailgating carbon molecule can make it wiggle its way through the plastic.
One molecule will not fuck your beer up. How about that?
Right, I think I'm getting too scientific on this.
So that oxygen permeability really doesn't. It is an insignificant number after 2 weeks. Now. The plastics.
What do you mean by that?
It's an insignificant number, as in it's hardly.
Weeks?
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
hardly
in the
any,
time that you're going to be using,
will get in there in 2 weeks.
In the timeline that you will be using, having your beer
the amount of
PET plastics,
impermeated oxygen molecules is so insignificant you'd never even identify it.
I do have wines in PET carboys.
Do we take oxygen measurements
in brewing?
Yeah.
We sure could if we had the device for it, but I don't.
Did.
They're oftentimes getting oxygen in the beer is usually like a visual, like, oh, it's bubbling through a fucking sight glass, and I can see the oxygen meter. The oxygen is turned on and it's bubbling through there. So
I like to do oxygen after my wort is chilled into the fermenter. Boom.
Very good for your beer.
Very good.
Oxygen's fine for day one. Day 1 to 3, so you're good, fine.
Exactly.
But
the
PET
yeast eat it.
PET has more is more resistant to oxygen than HDPE. How about that?
Okay.
Oh, I was talking about resistant alcohol. Have you ever seen certain alcohol, like you put 151 in a cheap plastic bottle and have it like spider crack on you?
Ooh, craze.
Yeah. Ooh. It's an impressive sight to see.
Is it like an acrylic? Like it'll do it to acrylic?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
It looks like your windshield if it got smashed in or something.
My old beer fest glass that dropped out of the cupboard when we got our glasses today.
It was acrylic.
Acrylic. So I put 151 in that, and that thing was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need to also remember that the top of your hydrometer can craze as well. So
hydrometers are
be careful
glass.
of your no, not the top, not the lid. No, hydrometer.
You're thinking refractometer. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I've got too much wine.
Man.
Yeah. I'm getting
you're only on the first one. Jesus Christ.
I know.
Yeah.
But the refractometer, the little flapper is an acrylic, so you can craze that as well.
But you're not normally using the refractometer with alcohol because it's not fucking work.
But remember that because you never know. You might just be like, oh, what's the content of this one, and pour whiskey in there or grain alcohol or something.
You'll be sad.
And they'd be like, oh, what happened to that?
So watch out with grain alcohol and acrylics.
That's a little lesson. Great segment. Great segment for our future shows.
Yeah.
Gadget. The Gadget Corner.
Gear chat.
Gear Corner. You always wanted Top Gun or Top Gear?
Something like that. Yeah.
You wanted a Top Gun show, right?
Oh,
Top Gear.
Top Gear, yeah. Let's say, okay. So.
Oh, hey, hold on. We didn't get to talk much on Beer 30. You're yapping a lot about other stuff.
So now you're going to change the subject. We're into a topic here.
Yeah. So I had an idea.
Good segue.
Well,
Yeah.
we were talking about this a little spot on the show. You were just talking about a spot. I had a great idea for another show in the future to maybe expand to do something. This is the first time I'm talking about it. I have not even talked to you about this.
So
this is
I'm all
live,
ears.
This is live on the air. I think we have an opportunity this summer to go on the road and do a live show somewhere.
Yeah, do some on location shooting. Yeah, I really want to do that. We've talked about it with a couple places who would love to have us, so we should totally figure that out.
Then that'd be fun.
Hell yeah!
So I just want to tell our audience we look forward to some new show content and some
on location.
On location.
It'll be fun. You'll see.
Anyways, let's get back to this. What do we miss? What do we miss?
PET, plastics. We were talking about that. We talked about oxygen. Here's one. So this one's you got to watch out for is when you're cleaning your plastic kit, you gots to be gentle with it because plastics are prone to scratches. Your fingernail,
the hardest thing.
Your fingernail is actually harder than the plastic. Yeah, on the Rockwell scale of hardness.
Yeah.
Your fingernail outranks the plastic.
Think that's the Mohs.
Yeah, you can.
Rockwell?
I think so. I think
Mohs.
Mohs. Yeah, there could be one of those too.
Mohs. Well, that's one for rocks.
Yeah.
You find that.
Any road, it's harder, which means you can scratch it. And scratches are bad.
Scratches are bad. They harbor.
So harboring bacteria.
Like a valley where everything grows.
Well,
the flora and the fauna.
Thing about I was looking up certain bacteria strains and because some of them can like hang out in those cracks.
Yep.
And how do they survive this process?
Because some of them need to be actually manually kind of agitated and removed.
Some of them, like lactobacillus and pediococcus, can settle into those little micro fissures, those scratches in your plastic, and they secrete like a kind of a gooey matrix. It's like proteins and junk. It's called a biofilm, and if you
protection layer.
Yeah, if you leave a glass of water on the counter for 2 weeks, you're gonna have like a floating rubbery like layer of junk. That's a biofilm. But that biofilm encases the cell, protects it. Star sand just kind of washes right over it and can't penetrate it. It's so much like oil and water. Yeah,
acids can't penetrate
get through. Yeah.
PBW. What's PBW? That's a
powder brewery wash.
That's a alkaline, very alkaline.
Alkaline. And it's got some surfactants and chelators. Chelators have a hydroscopic and hydrophobic end, so two opposite ends. They can get in under grime and then repel it. Begin repelling it off the surface.
It's only through water, so they can't get to that permeable film that the bacteria.
They can kind of hang out in there. It's harder to like. All the function of all like soaps and cleaners is really to break down the surface tension
and to get it out
of water,
so
that it can get into finer and finer cracks, right? Because water, it's kind of cool, but that polar molecule H2O, the surface tension of liquid can kind of span little cracks, and they don't get full. As a bubble of water can literally hang out on a fine enough crack without seeping into the groove, as it were. So that's what soap does, is breaks that surface or reduces that surface tension so water can sneak into finer and finer cracks and crevices to work on accumulations, soil accumulations and junk, the bacteria, the nasties. But left alone, if they get in there, lactobacillus, this biofilm is pretty impervious to your star sand. So it can remain alive and dormant and waiting for your nutrient-rich wort, and it breaks its biofilm and emerges to consume your next batch.
So sugar is going to dissolve this layer of protection,
and it's like
an acid,
it's a key for
sugar
it, right? Like,
that's crazy, huh?
There's another one.
Like it's meant to be.
There's some other bacteria such as Bacillus species. These guys, they create what's called an endospore. And it's basically like a hardened, dormant structure that is practically indestructible. Imagine it's a little itty bitty. You can equate it to kind of like a seed. A bacteria shrinks down and just has this DNA packet trapped in this impervious shell. Again, waiting for your wort. That
Waiting for
dormant
the sugar.
seed with the little DNA, this protein resistant coat, it is completely immune to drying out, starvation, and standard concentrations and nowhere in sanitizer.
What's its life cycle?
It can be in there for months, for years even.
Years.
Yeah, I mean, like if you drag it out of the closet, you haven't brewed for a while.
Yep.
You drag it out and you give it a clean up and it's in there. Like, it doesn't care. It really doesn't care.
How do I clean this? Sounds like once I've got
Well,
it.
scratches are the thing. So if you've got a scratch, it's time for a new bucket. Buckets are inexpensive, $20 gets you down the road. If you had to replace it every 2 years, you're still only $10 a year for that bucket. That's pretty damn cheap.
Yeah.
Compared to just about everything else,
Compared to losing one batch of beer.
which is heartbreaking. That's priceless. It was
Not
probably
only
your best
priceless,
beer.
but dang,
It was
it
probably
hits
your
my
best
wallet.
beer ever too, if you hadn't infected it. So kind of my protocol for cleaning my plastic gear. I am going to use PBW, Be Bright, some of those Craftmeister's, another one, the cleaning products that do the work for me, so I don't have to scrub. If I do want a little manual agitation, I am going to use a plain sponge.
Scotch Brite?
No
side?
Scotch Brite. No Scotch Brite. Did you
Oh,
know Scotch
dang.
Brite comes in 60, 80, and 120 varieties there?
Yeah.
That was designed to smooth.
awesome.
It was designed for wood. To smooth in a
When you don't want
sandpaper
to use
substitute.
sandpaper,
Yeah.
use
Scotch
Scotch
Brite.
Brite. Oh, it's good for so many things.
Oh, it's fantastic,
It's lovely. I
including
love-
scratching the
oh.
shit out of plastic.
I clean with this.
Yeah.
I got a good
stuff.
scrubber for this. Bam. Dude,
Yeah, that'll
and you
get the
ruin-
bacteria out, right?
Yeah, it'll get it smooth.
Yeah.
I'm gonna smooth out that big scratch.
Right, we make
the-
it one
in the
big
side of my
wide scratch.
cart.
No more scratch, right? Right.
Yeah.
So don't use that one. So avoid the Brillo pad on your sponge. Plain sponge, the
Brillo pad.
the Brillo or the
Well, we're using
what's the brand?
Scotch Brite.
Scotch
too. What are these things actually called?
Scotch Brite was the brand. Scotch,
But Scotch Brite made
What is?
of-
Oh God, what is it? What was it called? I used to could know
Brillo
that.
is
Another
Brillo is a
brand. Yeah, I used to like. I've heard it. It's in my brain. It's floating around and it won't come out. Doesn't want to play today.
It's like Velcro. We have to call it hook and loop.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Velcro's a brand. Kleenex is a brand.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola, it's a brand. So,
So
I'll have a Coke. I'll have a Coke. It's all Cokes. Anyways, back to cleaning your plastics. The other one I like is a microfiber cloth. The synthetic
Works well.
Yeah, it
If
doesn't.
you don't have a scratch in it, it's gonna reach.
Yeah, it's very
all
very soft.
surfaces.
It's easy. It's smooth. The other thing I like about it, it doesn't thread out like cotton. Like a cotton rag, like use it a lot, and eventually little bits of cotton,
Get
thread
everywhere.
break
you're gonna
off.
leave,
and
you're gonna leave fibers in
yeah.
your fermenter and
More crap to deal
possibly
with.
bacteria on them. You never know.
I mean, cotton doesn't. It's not going to harbor bacteria. There's nothing for them to eat on
No.
cotton thread, but
They won't-
it's
they
just more
won't latch
junk.
on.
They break apart, and then the rag's no. The rag is.
Oh, the rag's
worse.
no
Yeah,
good.
no
I don't have to
Yeah.
worry about the fibers.
Yeah, it doesn't. It won't really grow stuff. Britannomyces does not form endospores, but can enter a state of metabolic dormancy if they're buried deep inside a scratch underneath, or maybe a layer of dried organic matter like beer stone, or maybe a little krausen residue left behind on a lackadaisical cleaning job.
So where does Brett come from? That has to be inoculated into your brew house system somewhere.
Britannomyces is a wild yeast variant. So
It's a wild one.
Yeah, it's out there. It's a slow one, slow action. Doesn't.
Yeah, but
takes a while.
if I never use it, that's one I don't really worry about.
I
too much.
typically, if I'm playing with Britannomyces or Lacto or PO, I'm doing that in a separate vessel. It's my dedicated sour, so that I'm not potentially introducing these bugs into all of my beers. Like, I want deliberate sours. I'm not a big fan of accidental ones. I've tasted them. Some of them are fine, but they still give me the heebie-jeebies. What the fuck is
Accidental
this?
sour.
Yeah.
I've tasted that before.
You know, you go to like,
Yeah.
you go to a beer fest and so like with a bunch of homebrewers and you're passing out your beer. And,
That's a sour?
So here, I'll try the sour. I like sours. You drink it, and as you got it in your mouth, you're drinking it, and he says, "Yeah, I don't know what happened."
I don't know what happened.
That's not a great fucking pitch right there.
It's
That's
not a great sour, is it?
Yeah, yeah. So
I know what happened, but it tastes good.
plastics, they're lightweight.
I think I've said
they're
that
strong.
before.
You can drop them, but
Right.
watch out when you're cleaning them. Now, glass, conversely, it's going to be really hard to scratch that stuff.
No, you can't scratch glass.
No, you can. You just need something harder than that.
Harder than
Harder
glass.
than glass. It's they're out there too.
Diamonds.
Yeah. So you're not cleaning with that. You mentioned earlier, like getting lacerated by
A broken
carboy.
Yeah.
My friend Jesse has twin lacerations in a V shape. He's got two of them, so it makes a W shape that goes
Ouch.
from his wrist clear up to his elbow.
Oh. Was he carrying it like this?
He was setting it down.
He's
yeah,
setting it down.
He was
A
setting
full
it down.
one.
A full one on a counter, and
It busted.
It dropped an inch.
Popped.
And chang, blew up in his hands. And that happened twice.
Oh.
Yeah,
Two
two
times.
separate occasions.
Yeah.
I asked him if he switched to plastic, and he says, "No, I still use glass." Like, wow.
My.
Yeah, that's rough stuff.
I use plastic now.
You know,
I have glass. I have a bunch of glass.
I do
carboys.
too. I tend to use them when I'm doing those long ages. If I am worried about oxygen,
Yeah, there you go.
I'll put it in glass that day.
Be very careful with it.
Yeah, but so we can't scratch it. So, but it's not without dangers, right? If you drop it or nick it or touch it wrong or stare at it wrong, you could blow it up. There have been some recalls of inferior glass products in home brewing, particularly some overseas products shipped with voids inside the in the glass,
cool.
right?
Then those voids heat up
And they
pop.
expand and blow the whole thing up for you. That's not great.
No.
That is, yeah. So there's quality stuff out there, but that glass has gotten more and more expensive. I think I was looking today. A 5-gallon glass carboy is averaging $65 to $70.
Really? Mm-hmm. There's a financial opportunity for me.
Right? Yeah, I was selling used ones for like $30, and they were disappearing.
I'd sell it for
Probably
60.
should have. Probably should have.
I still got them.
Yeah,
I got the big ones too. I got like what 6.5 gallon.
Oh, the 6.5 gallon. That's a freaking
That's
$80.
probably
That's
$150 because you
it's
can't
not
find
quite
them
that
anymore.
bad. It's
I'm going to raise
but
the price
something
of them. I'm going to bump the price because you can't find them anymore.
Friggin', I can get them. I just don't because
They're
expensive. I don't want to pay for them and have them sit on the shelf that long. Because you look at that sticker price, $75 for a
Once you
carboy.
have stainless steel, you're golden.
Right? That's a different show. It's a different show, Andrew. We'll
It
do
is.
We'll do it.
Oh, a different show.
Different show.
I thought it was a different show once you switch from glass to stainless. That's a different show for everybody homebrewing out there.
One of the ones in the kind of the glass, we know glass is inert when it's not going to be reactive, but then you see some interesting things out there. You see maybe like something with like a bluish tint,
Right.
or a purplish tint.
Well, Hanford just turned I don't know how many pounds of nuclear waste into glass.
Oh, interesting.
Like this week. Yeah. So be careful. Don't be buying carboys that have nuclear, what is it called? Radiated glass?
Irradiated glass.
Irradiated, yeah.
So there's cobalt blue glass. That's like the really fancy, really
Oh, those
dark blue
cool
stuff.
mason jar ones.
Those are safe. Those really dark blue, azure, kind of that looks so good on a bottle tree.
And if you can find a carboy that looks
If you had a cobalt blue carboy, that
Oh,
would be
my
fucking
word.
cool. That'd be a pretty carboy right there.
You need to
they
keep
are
that.
they are safe. That nothing is going to react in a cobalt blue.
What if it glows in the dark?
If it glows in the dark, it's a bad day. It's a bad day. Sometimes you're going to see
Maybe your beer will end up glowing in the dark.
Yeah.
be cool.
Sometimes you're going to see sort of this light blue or aqua kind of
Yeah, I have one
hue.
of those. Yep, I have
Yeah.
one of those.
That pale green, it's a result of iron impurities in the sand. This type of glass is also chemically stable. There's not going to leach any toxins into it. So you can reuse these vintage. These vintage ones, those blue ones, those are generally over 100 years old. It takes that long for that iron bluing reaction to occur. It's in really fucking old glass. So you get those real antiques and like with that haze blue, blue haze to them. That's pretty cool. There's another color though, and this one's a little more. It's one you gotta watch out for. Purple blue. This is another antique. From 1880 to 1950s era, glassmakers would use manganese to counter the bluing from iron, right? So they would add something else to keep the glass clearer.
Wow.
And we're still. This is the early days of the industrialization, but glassmakers would use manganese. Now that stuff. That's got a leaching hazard. Can slowly leach into your liquids, especially in highly acidic conditions, exactly like the ones produced during your long-term wine, mead, or kombucha fermentations. So, if you're consuming high levels of leached manganese, that can lead to neurological issues. So we're gonna steer clear. We're gonna use those in our flower arrangements. We're gonna use those. And you can't put your
terrarium.
Your terrarium's great. You don't put your change in them because if you drop a quarter in there, it's probably gonna break.
Done.
Speaking of breakage on glass, thermal fracturing. Thermal fracturing's fun. No, it isn't. I'm kidding. Don't do it. The most common thermal fracturing you're going to see is
I've had a carboy hot before, a 140. I've had a carboy 140.
If you get it too hot too quick, it's gonna pop. You're gonna break it.
Yeah.
The glass becomes unstable.
Do we know exactly what temperature and how fast?
I didn't find any of that because there's so many like varied thicknesses of glass. If it's really old, was a hand blown, right? Because you see like the demijohns with the round bottom, those would have been hand blown traditionally,
right?
Because the circle is the shape, right?
I've got them with the bottom with the different thicknesses all around it,
right? Or you see like it's got a basket to carry it in. That's really freaking old, right? Because of that round bottom. But thermal shock. So if you're going in with hot liquids, you could. This stuff is not made out of Pyrex. It is going to break. Is bad. Or if you've just washed it hot. This is the other way. If you got you've rinsed it off really hot, you've got your then your sanitizer's really cold
coming in,
really cold.
Boom.
Ka-ching.
Crack.
Yeah, and your glass bottles, your beer bottle or wine bottle can do this too. I've had some bottoms fall out.
Do they make Pyrex carboys?
I have not seen one. That would probably be fucking expensive, though. Jesus Christ! You think it's cool, bad for just this regular ass glass?
It wouldn't break. You could throw it down the street,
right?
Can you imagine that?
Crazy. That would be nuts. That'd be kind of cool though. Because you could boil in it.
I'd love it.
Those are thermally stable. You can I have a borosilicate glass or pyrite or Pyrex is borosilicate glass.
Boil right in there.
Yeah, all the lab equipment you can boil right on a hot plate and then cool off.
Chill it from the outside.
Submerge it.
Yep,
yeah. The other way to break it with thermal is if it's too fucking cold. Like I had a buddy had his cider on the porch. It didn't freeze, but it got really cold. And chang.
Well, now it was full, right? Once it's up past the shoulder,
which is the fill line.
You're gonna break it.
Yeah.
If it freezes.
If it freezes, you're having a bad day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it's frozen and you don't thaw it out, it'll break too.
Yeah.
I'm going to put the hose on it,
Yeah.
Or come in from a.
Well, you freed the brick. Yeah.
Yeah. From the kitchen with my tea kettle.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Son of a bitch. Yep. That lessons learned there. Somebody's been doing that. Doing their homework on that one.
I lived in the snow once.
So. The other way we
have a lot of wine left. I better
drink some more, man. It's pretty rare, but if you clogged up your your airlock and
You want some
and
more?
secured it too snugly. You could have pressure build up inside. It's yeast are chugging along, making enough CO2 to carbonate a fleet, a warehouse full of like a beer.
Yeah.
It would be pretty rare to have your carboy completely plugged from airlock and not throw a cork across the room. But I know guys who got worried about their cork kept coming out because the rubber was old. Rubber stoppers, if they're old, rubber vulcanizes. When it goes bad, it's called vulcanization, and it gets hard and brittle. It's no longer, squishy and elastic. So the seal,
so it's a hard surface.
yeah, and it's super smooth
Against
and then another
glass.
hard smooth surface
Right, there you
with
go.
too low, with a low coefficient of friction.
Now we're a slide. Water slide.
So I've seen guys come in with all sorts of interesting ways of like lashing their cork down because it kept coming. We're like, how they got
Lashing
they got $3 worth of rubber bands on there to replace $1, but they won't replace $1.50 fucking stopper. That's kind of the rationale is kind of weird there. So it would be pretty rare. But it's not impossible. If it did clog up, pressure always wins. Unregistered pressure vessels are guaranteed failure points.
Find a way.
Yeah, that's not great. It's not great.
Physics, buddy.
Pressure always wins.
Just like water.
Sometimes your vintage glass though can also have kind of like internal problems, micro fissures inside from ages old manufacturing processes. When there was a day when we didn't have, we didn't have the FDA, we didn't have the Consumer Protection Agency, we didn't have all these regulatory bodies making sure the products that are going out into the marketplace and being used by the public are generally safe,
Right.
That are not going to kill us. Hell, we had lawn darts for crying out loud, and the best game was playing
was
chicken with
amazing.
those. Everybody stands in a circle back
I
to
had some
back,
of those.
and you huck a fucking lawn dart in the air.
No,
If you
they don't. You go.
Yeah,
you're on
that's a
you're on
great
the same-
game. That's
you're
a
on
great
the
game.
Same side. See, that's
No,
where.
so
that's
and then,
why they
so
came
you
up.
got to stay there the longest. And then when they throw it up, it's going to come down, and you stay there longest. And it's like you play chicken with the fucking thing.
No, that's
it's
not
a bad
right.
game.
That's
It's a
not
bad
the game you play.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
not
bad
what was on the
game. Yeah.
instructions.
No, but
Oh
when
my
you
gosh.
got bored
You
with that
play
one,
this without the instructions?
yeah, we didn't even have the box. It was like
No,
a
you
bucket
didn't
in
have the box.
my
You just had to
grandparents'
figure it
garage that had lawn darts
What
in
do
it.
we do?
We,
Hey, let's shoot
we
this
fucking
straight up in
throw
the
them
air
across
and
the
let
room.
it
Yeah.
They're called lawn darts. Are like darts that you throw
Yeah.
into a target.
For those of you who are too young in this audience, picture a dart, a plastic like dart you would
it's
throw in a bar,
large.
except make
It's
it
at least
about
a
6,
foot long.
8.
A
It's
foot
about
long almost.
a foot long.
It's got a 6-inch spike on the end of it.
metal spike,
And it's got four. It's got four.
it is
2-inch
weighted
fins.
to the front to
Yeah.
make it point down when
it's
it
got
shoves
and
in.
it's got a little tiny, like a little shaft on the just on the aft
Yeah,
side of the
yeah.
fins, so you can grip it with your
And
hand.
you would throw it
and
at your friends.
whoosh.
And watch them run.
Bam.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great game.
If you have those, sell them on eBay. They're worth a lot.
So okay,
darts.
so we can have poor manufacturing processes in some of these pre-war antiques, like
So be careful of your glass carboys.
yeah, because the fermentation, the pressures,
Right. Look for bubbles in them
thermal
if you get them at a,
that makes
at
them
a-
more
at a yard
thermally
sale.
unstable with the internal problems in there. So that's a thing.
Are we supposed to recommend one way or another?
Not really. So I like with so many other things in life, there's your way and there's my way. The best way and the right way don't exist.
Is how you make it the best you can. That's the best
With
way.
the best you can with the best you got.
You do your best. You make it a best day of your life.
That's right.
When you brew. Man, I'm going to have the best day of my life pretty soon because I'm going to brew again, Ben. I'm going to brew again.
Yeah, you are. That's gonna be
This is
fun.
inspiration.
We had a lot of fun on that brew day.
We did.
So there's not really like the jury is still out. Like there's no real like deciding
Yeah,
factor.
there's
Like
not.
glass versus plastic.
There's
If you
pros
treat
and
your
cons.
if you treat your plastic right, it can serve you many many years for not a lot of coin. If you've made the investment to glass and you treat it right, it's
It'll
going
last you
to
a long
last
time.
you a really
I've
really
had
long
my
time.
carboys 20 years or more.
I was always a plastic guy because I'm a klutz. Like I cannot walk through a door without running into the frame like full force. Like I have bad spatial relations with my surrounding. If I'm holding something and I turn around, there's probably a door or a wall for me to smash it upon.
I think I went to stainless steel so I can get bigger capacity because I was doing 10 gallons at a time.
No.
So then I have a 14 and a half stainless fermenter.
Glass at that size gets real fucking expensive.
Well, that'd be a 10-gallon batch. That'd be two carboys, 2 buckets, whatever. And then you're splitting the batch. There's other things. So I'm like, all right, I got to upgrade.
Did you know?
I've got to upgrade to stainless.
Did you know they did make large size demijohns and wine bottles?
Yes.
In huge capacities. Like, and you know what they called them? They had some cool names like Methuselah.
Greek goddess.
Yeah, Greek god. Yeah, like Methuselah.
Oh,
and
that's
like,
the Bible. That's the oldest man in the Bible, right?
Yeah, right. So that's the biggest one. There were some balls at
done here, man.
Is that really? We've reacted for an hour already?
Oh yeah.
Holy shit. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the show. We're going to finish up some wine privately. But join us in a couple weeks. We're going to have another show, another great time.
I look forward to new content. And
fun stuff. Fun stuff. So thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Cheers,
Cheers,
y'all.
Ben. Cheers, everybody. Love you.